Hey everyone, I'm excited to take part in the AI Showdown. I'm excited to try out these three models and see how best they perform within Lovable. Let me share my screen and we'll proceed. Sure. We're going to compare these three models by building a landing page website with 5 prompts on each of the models. We're going to compare them based on these aspects. Time to results. How fast is it? Prompt interpretation and execution. And we're looking at how accurately does it implement my prompt. Aesthetics. How nice does it look? Accessibility. If I run it through an accessibility website, will the code and UI pass WCAG guidelines? And can we do it in 5 prompts? I've never been able to do a lovable project in 5 prompts. So let's see. Let's see about this one. Specifically, we're going to create an elegant and stunning landing page website for a vintage vehicle rental company called Save the Date. It should have lots of images of the London style taxi, should have contacts and a working contact form. It should include information and a story about the company, the vehicles, and the owners. I've structured it into the 5 prompts you can see here, and we'll try each prompt on each model. And then once we're done, we'll put it up on the score sheet right here. So let's jump into Lovable. We have Anthropic as the first one here, but let's pick, okay, oops, Anthropic it is. All right, London Taxi Romance, that's what we get. Okay. Did did I get anything? No, no? Okay, perfect. So let's start the second one here. And I want to use OpenAI. Perfect. And then we have this third one here. Let's close this. And let's pick Google. I guess that's Gemini. All right, let's go. London Taxi Romance is the first one we have here. I guess we have to put in the first prompt. Okay, London Vintage is working, and that's Gemini. Um, this one's OpenAI, and nothing's going on here yet. Okay, and Anthropic, nothing's going on as well. All right, so we have to get it going with the first prompt. Let's copy our first prompt. There we go. Let's go Anthropic. And let's do the same for OpenAI. Lots of traffic. Upgrade to skip the line. Okay. Oh, oh, okay. All right. All right. What's happening? I guess there's lots of traffic. Everyone's doing this competition last minute. Okay, there's a sound. Okay, Google is the first one. We still can't get the OpenAI and Anthropic post going. Maybe 8 seconds left here on Anthropic. Okay, maybe we're next. All right. Okay. No? Is it? I guess it's spinning up the preview. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so Google starts off with an error. Let's see what this says. Type string is not assignable to type Property style does not exist. So this must be because we have not inserted the database yet. We haven't worked on it. Huh? Is it really? Or I think we're facing some UI issues here. Some properties. Interesting. Okay, so we'll have to try to fix. All right. Can we try to fix? Yes, in the meantime, let's look at what Google has. All right. Arrive in timeless style. Experience the romance and charm. Book your fairy tale. Services. So we get a very cookie cutter. Okay, not bad. I would like to see some images. Gallery, book now. Okay, not bad for the first prompt. Okay, finally we can send something out. Nice, we have something from OpenAI. Let's go. Better. Save the date, London style. Why choose? Okay. Get a quote. All right, okay. It's not bad. Interesting approach. This is not so visible. The button against the background. Do we have anything up here? No. Okay. Why choose? Okay. So that's the result. All right. So let's go back here. All right. Let's put in the second prompt. These images were probably what was breaking, and we'll look into that later. That's what's breaking. So the issue was there was a card not correctly handling inline styles. Okay. All right. And is that why there was no images? I don't think so. This is typically what happens, and you have to add extra work and consuming more prompts. It's better when you prepare the image link or specify, pick something from Unsplash or something like that. So I see already OpenAI is in the lead. We finally have a result. I guess that's the sound for when something's done. This is interesting. This is different. Let's open that in a full window. What's that? Random circle. Okay, we have images. This is good. This is much better. It's not perfect, but already you can see it's not as basic. Okay, there's use of color. Book your journey, view our fleet. Not bad. They've gone much more in depth. Wow. Okay. Even the styling. I mean, if I had no experience with design, this would really save me having to think about making things beautiful. So I would say on the first prompt, Anthropic has a stronger visual output. OpenAI is pretty good if you're looking for something very simple. And if we look at Google, we didn't see any images coming out. None of the images are functional. Very basic, too basic, I would say. But it did give us the contact form we asked for. So let's continue. Let's go to the next prompt. Prompt number 2, hero section. Design a hero section with a large, high-resolution image of a London black cab, a clear call to action that says book now, and a short welcoming message that says turn your wedding into an unforgettable experience with save the date, the classic London taxi rental. So we have that. We'll copy that into all three. Starting with Anthropic, go. Jumping to OpenAI, go. And finally, Google. Go. How exciting. We're waiting for results. Waiting for results. Waiting. Ling, 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 ling. This is why I wanted to check. Check. This is why I wanted to check time to results. Because we're taking ages. Okay. I think we have someone in the lead. Let's go. We're getting lost here. Okay, let's open the results from Anthropic. What happened here? It's not visible. Save the date. Why do we have books? We wanted black London style cap. What's going on? Why do we have books? What I put in there? London background image. No. No. Anthropic. You're making stuff up. I'll even like what we had before. All right, let's see what OpenAI did. Let's refresh this. No, nobody has a black cab, black taxi. Is it that we're calling it a cab? What does cab mean? Come on. Let's see. Let's see what Google has for us. Still? No, come on. Nothing? Okay. All right. Let's proceed to the third prompt. Create a section titled Our Story, featuring a warm, heartfelt account of the company's origin, the vehicle's rich history, and the passionate team who care for them. Include an image of the team alongside their favorite vintage cab. Some of these models are better at generating content. Some of them are better at generating code. Others are better at factual research. And maybe some of that strength will come out now when it comes to generating content. So far, the accuracy in implementing the prompts from what I describe, which I assume is quite clear, and the results, you can see clear misinterpretation. So let's look at our story. Some content generation expected there. Let's see Anthropic. Heavy load. Okay. Let's see OpenAI. That goes right through. Let's see Google. Goes right through as well. Back through to Anthropic. It's gone through. All right, more time. TikTok. You can actually hear my clock. Let me listen to ASMR as we wait. I also have really cool Magnets, really strong. They can pinch you. They keep me busy. So if we're on a call and you hear this, I'm playing with the magnets, which happens quite often. Results from Anthropic. Let's see who else has something for us. OpenAI, results are ready. And not yet from Google. Okay. Anthropic. I've created a beautiful Our Story section that tells the heartfelt tale of Sarah and Michael. Michael's journey through. Can I not read anymore? I think it's the magnets. Okay. The heartfelt tale of Sarah and Michael Thompson's journey from newlyweds to the passionate owners of Save the Date, complete with their story, team, photo, and company values. Okay. All right. You've created that, is what I'm reading. Anthropic. Let's see where. I will refresh this. We still have the bookcase thing going on back there. Our story. Okay. Very wordy. 29 years of service. 2,000 happy couples. Okay. Nice. Don't know why I'm impressed. This isn't much, but let's see what the others have. First, I'll read it. Our story. It all began with that chance encounter at a vintage car auction in 1995. Sarah and Michael Thompson, newlyweds themselves, fell in love with a beautifully restored 1960s London black cab. What started as a romantic gesture for their own wedding photos quickly blossomed into something much more meaningful. Friends and family were enchanted by the elegance and charm our vintage cab brought to special occasions. Word spread, and soon we found ourselves with our first booking requests. That single black cab became the foundation of Save the Date, born from a passion for preserving automotive history and creating unforgettable moments. Over nearly 3 decades, we've lovingly restored and maintained a fleet of classic London taxis, each with its own story and character. Every vehicle in our collection has been hand selected, can I not read, for its historical. I think it's the font. It's really hard to follow. Or can I not read? I think so. So let's see what the others have in terms of generating this content. I'll just refresh this. All right, our story. Save the Date began as a dream between lifelong friends and now co-owners Martha and Oliver, both enchanted by London's romantic streets and the storied black cabs that dotted its past. They set out to share a piece of that magic with couples on their own. So, okay, we can tell that the text is usually much more accurately generated than the images because there isn't one single cab image in any of these. Okay, let's see what Google has. Just unable to give us a photo. Okay. It all started with a love story of our own and a beautifully restored 1950s London taxi. We are John and Mary, and we founded Save the Date out of a shared passion for classic vehicles and the timeless moments that they represent. Each taxi in our collection isn't just a car, it's a piece of history we've lovingly restored. Okay, whatever. So I think the one that has the best writing is Anthropic. And I just wish there was a better choice so it's more legible. I think also OpenAI has a pretty decent story. I think Google or Gemini has a very direct, practical story. Nothing beautiful fitting this vibe of the website. And like I said, all three really suck with images, especially Gemini that has been unable to produce one unbroken image. Let's continue. Prompt 4. Design a photo gallery section with high-resolution images of Save the Date's vintage London taxis in action. at weddings, anniversaries, and special events. Provide brief captions for each photo, emphasizing their character, style, and role in creating lasting memories. Let's see. This will be a little tough. Let's go Anthropic. Heavy load. Okay, let's go OpenAI. That went through. And finally, why is this? Can you get out of the screen? I'm working here. And then finally, Google. That's gone as well. Back to Anthropic and try and send it out. Not yet. So Anthropic seems to be the most popular one. So far, it seems to be the one with the load, long line. Anyway, I was saying this one will be interesting because the images, this is the gallery section, and so far none of these models has been able to produce accurate images, and Google was not able to produce images at all. That's interesting. And this is prompt 4. I don't feel very close. I think you would have to put in a lot of effort to give your own specific images and look at a context where we're just creating a concept for a client. I would like for it to just pick accurate images. And of course, when I actually work on it, I will give the real images that I want to use. But just for the concept, sometimes you just needed to pick something accurately, not give me a horse or a bookshelf, just a black London taxi cab, if that's what I ask for. Right? Anthropic is done. Let's see. OpenAI is done. Google is done. Let's see what Anthropic has. Anthropic seems to be really fast. Maybe why it has a line like that. Okay. I've created an elegant photo gallery section called Memories in Motion that showcases save the dates, vintage, blah, blah, blah. Let's have a look. Refresh. Memories in Motion. Oh, I love that it opens like that. Can it scroll left, right? No? Okay. I like that there's text, but like I said, the images, just random. But this is a nice style. Anthropic, nice style. It can really fit the purpose. Okay. Pretty decent. OpenAI, let's see what you have. Okay. Not clickable, but they do have that animation when you hover. Okay. Let's proceed. Google, will you have any real images for us? No, no images from Google yet again. Nothing, not a hover state. Nothing, not clickable. Come on. No, we clearly have somebody in the last position. Okay, and finally, prompt 5. I am more and more discouraged about getting through with this in 5 prompts. But let's do it. Create a contact section with the functional form: name, email, phone, date of wedding or event, and comments, alongside clear contact details: phone number, email, social media links. The form should be stylish, easy to use, and reflect the vintage ambience of the rest of the landing page. You'll notice that none of these 5 prompts have had anything to do with accessibility. We want to see if each of these models, any of the models, will build with accessibility. That doesn't have to be mentioned in the prompt. All the code and the UI should come out accessible. And we will test for that. So let's start with prompt 5 on Anthropic. That went through. I'm surprised. Prompt 5 on OpenAI. And finally, prompt 5 on Google. Okay, Anthropic seems to be the first one. OpenAI is still working. Google is still working. Anthropic is fastest. Anthropic also has the best UI so far and the best content generation so far. It's just so clear. So let's go back to what Anthropic has. The response is, I've completely transformed the contact section with a functional form that includes all the fields you requested. The new design features a 2-column layout with contact information on the left and the booking form on the right, maintaining the vintage elegance theme throughout. Yes, that's what I need. The form includes proper validation and will show success messages once submitted. I love that. I love that. Oh, and this is responsive. Maybe 2 images would be better or a grid, but I'll take it. So let's refresh this and see the form. Let's also see OpenAI is done. Okay. And check on Google. Also done. Okay. Oi, I don't like it. This looks very tacky. I don't like it at all. Oi. Okay, let's try it. Yeah. Anything. My special day. Thank you. Okay. All right. did not connect it to Superbase, so I don't expect anything to be captured. Let's see OpenAI. This is much cleaner. This is much cleaner. Getting much cleaner UI from OpenAI. And okay, did you see that? Some bit of parallax, this becomes fixed while the other one scrolls. Interesting. I did not ask for that. And it's just nice when you see a little extra in there. Sometimes. Okay. Google, any redemption for you? Get in touch. Google's redemption is accurately implementing a form, while the other two implemented a mail to and not a form. But this part does look a little clunky, to be very honest. That's very clunky to have the sizes of the font be different. The sizes of these icons, it just looks very bad. The size of this button text, no. But to be fair, this must have the most accessible text in the other two. Of the three, this one has the most accessible text. And we'll check accessibility now. But that's the last prompt. That's the last prompt. We'll just try each of these. My special day. All right. We haven't connected any, and I expect that they would just function statically. That's it. We've worked on a static website using 3 models, and that's what we've seen. Let's now proceed to our scoreboard. All right, time to results. I saw that it was Anthropic, so let's put a check mark. Speaking little check mark. Check. Check, check. Thank you. All right, time to results. I would give Anthropic 3 checks, OpenAI 2 checks, and Gemini 1 check. Prompt interpretation and execution. Gemini did have the contact form that I needed. I'll give that 2 checks. None of them gave me the photos that I wanted, but I did get the right text. So I give them 1 check for both. Aesthetics clearly went to Anthropic. Give that 2 checks. But we did have a cleaner UI in the end when it came to OpenAI. Give that 1 check. Gemini, we couldn't get any image at all, so no check when it comes to aesthetics. Also, it was very clunky. Very clunky. We are just about to check accessibility, and let's work on that now. Immediately, you can start to see some of the issues we already have. We have 11 contrast errors, 8 errors, 1 alert, but 20 seem to be okay. Everything seems to be okay. So let's look at the errors. Where is this? Empty, there's 3 empty links. Oh, that's understandable because we haven't populated that. And then broken area reference. Okay. All right, that's an issue there. Because in the form fields, we should have these references for accessibility in case you are using a screen reader. Let's look at contrast. I already knew that button would not pass the test when it comes to contrast. I have no eyesight issues, no major issues, and already I cannot see that. Nobody can. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Here's another issue. Here, I guess this text in the background do not have enough contrast, and there are tools you can use to check contrast that allow the contrast ratio that's accessible, right? We've looked at the contrast errors. The alerts once skipped heading level. Okay. Typically, we want to follow the heading levels because the screen readers will follow that as well. But that's one of the last issues with the website. When it comes to empty links, that's understandable because a lot of the information is not well populated in those icons. So that's fine. Contrast errors is not something we can understand. It should be done well. This is AI. And the heading level as well is an issue. So let's see what it is for Google. So I will copy this link and try the same thing. I will open the Chrome extension. 0 contrast errors. Okay. 4 errors. What's the problem? The features are fine, no alerts. The area is fine. So, well, what are the errors? Broken area reference. Okay, when it comes to the form fields, we have an issue with accessibility. So ARIA helps screen readers to create landmarks in the page so that when you have a screen reader, you don't have to listen to all the page. You can be told like, this is the landmark. When it comes to the form fields, we need to know like the complete target area of the form, and the ARIA reference helps us to understand what it is, what it's for, what it says. We talk about the label in there as well, the ARIA label, and so on. So I see that we have that, but the issue is we have broken ARIA reference. So when it comes to the form, we clearly have an issue there. But I don't really understand what this means by broken ARIA reference. So let's find out. If a reference ID cannot be found, a broken ARIA reference will be flagged and added to the list of accessibility errors on your website. So it seems we cannot find an ID that makes this ARIA reference broken. Okay, and let's see exactly the ARIA reference we're talking about. ARIA invalid equals false. ARIA reference. But the target, okay, I could have just clicked on that. An ARIA labeled by or ARIA described by reference exists, but the target of the reference does not exist. Okay, we're missing an ID. I get it now. Okay, so already we can tell there's less accessibility issues when it comes to OpenAI. Let's proceed to Google. Both of them seem to have issues when it comes to accessibility on the form and ARIA issues. It seems they both have missing IDs and that their ARIA labeled by or directed by seems to be referencing. I get that now. Okay. Wave evaluation tool one more time. No errors at all, but we have 6 contrast errors. Okay. Very low contrast. What's here? Oh, what? What? Is that there? Okay, let's see the other one. Okay, I guess it's highlighting the area. What? Does it really look like that? Let's see. I guess this area with the background, there's low contrast. I get that now. It does not have that rectangle we were seeing before. Okay. Still okay. Contrast between the text and the image. Okay. All right. You know what? I am surprised. If there are no ARIA issues here, I am so surprised. Okay. I was going to conclude that Lovable has an issue with forms and form accessibility, but it's not. Okay, so 6 contrast errors for Gemini, 4 errors and 0 contrast errors for OpenAI, and 8 errors and 11 contrast errors for Anthropic. So we clearly have our answer. We have OpenAI gets the 2 ticks. Let's copy these, give it to OpenAI. Gemini gets 3 ticks, and Anthropic gets one itty bitty tick. Let's now look at each of them and see how complete or ready we feel to present that, if ever. And we'll use that to put ticks against, or the check marks against, can we do it in 5 prompts? Starting off with Anthropic, we have this major issue here, but looking at it so far, it seems to be the most complete. It seems to be what I would feel a little more confident to present. Even just as a concept, I would probably want to go in and change this, but this is pretty good. Let's now look at OpenAI. This is not bad, pretty clean, but it would feel like if I was using AI, I would want a bit more result. And I would want the client to feel like I put in more effort. So this is good visually. I just feel it's really basic. And finally, let's go to Google. We got no images. The style is pretty basic. And at some point, it looks very clunky. This is what we had before, actually. Let me refresh that. Yes, the bottom starts to look very clunky here. I would not be confident to present this at all, especially because there's no images. It already starts me off on looking like I have mistakes and bugs. I'm not really a fan of that. So, Anthropic has the best so far. It's not amazing, actually, but okay, just two. OpenAI, I would give one, and Gemini, no tick. So, same here and same here. Okay, that's it. We have compared the three models on these aspects in 5 prompts on each. If I were to pick a winner, I think we can see Anthropic coming out stronger. Thank you so much for sticking around to watch this.